All right, guys, what's up? This is Phil, the FPL lawyer, and today is pretty exciting. Obviously, my first upload, and we're going to be going through a wildcard 30 draft. So, pretty big episode today. Obviously, first thing to discuss is why I'm wildcarding right now instead of in 31. I think the teams will be very similar, but obviously in 30 right now, I don't have Mo Salah, and I would have to play either Bowen or Douglas Luiz. And although Bowen's capable, and Douglas Luiz has been on fire at home, I think, the opportunity to get Mo when he's fairly low owned at around 25% is huge. It's an extra 3 projected points, and he could go off, and a lot of captains. So it's kind of the main reason we're wildcarding right now. So just to go through the draft, we've got obviously the goalies. Kaminsky's got to go. Pretty easy one here. We're going to bring in Petrovic. Petrovic is obviously solid. I mean, Chelsea's defense isn't great, but they have great fixtures right now. He's pretty cheap. They've got 2 doubles after 34. He's a bit of a no-brainer. And then we're also going to bring in Kelleher. This one's a bit more contentious. Obviously, I'm free hitting in game week 34 and wildcarding now, so I'm targeting the 37 doubles. So I'm getting him for the short term, and he'll be a quick transfer out. Moving into the defense, Poro's going to stay. But obviously Dallow's going to go. Dallow's one I would want later, but I think the City defensive options are better, and I want one City defender. So it's pretty tight between Ake and Gvardiol. I think Ake has better minutes recently, but Gvardiol's back from injury. He played 90 minutes in their Champions League game before game week 28. He's had a long time to recover, and the City defense has a bunch of injuries. So I think Gvardiol's going to start, and I like him as a bit of a differential. So Doughty is... I have no interest in keeping Doughty at all, but he's got to go. And it's a pretty tight decision between Bradley and Gusto, but I'm going with Bradley for the same reason as Kelleher. And you'll see that I can't get Gusto because I have 3 Chelsea. Lascelles is going to come in here for Taylor, and Lascelles is a fairly easy one. He can sit on the bench, but he should start. So moving into the midfield, obviously, it's where our big points come from. I think the 3 in the middle here are pretty solid. Madison could go, but I think I'll keep him for now, and he'll go later. So Bowen's going to go to Salah, obviously the reason we're wildcarding. And we're going to take Douglas Luiz down to Garnacho because we need to save some money. So Douglas Luiz has been a good servant for me, but he's got to go. Now moving down to the forwards, obviously this is the toughest decision in the wildcard draft right now, and might have some minor differences between 30 and 31, but the projected points are similar. So it's a bit preference. With Tony, I've had him since game week 26. He's done absolutely nothing for me. But I just have a feeling that he's going to do well, so I'd like to keep him. However, I think Isak is a lock to come in right now, and Tony's going to go for Isak. Then finally, Watkins. I'd like Watkins this week as well. I'd also like him in 32, and I thought about keeping him, but he's pretty expensive, and I think Nico Jackson has found some form. To be fair, I was a huge critic of him early in the season, calling him the second Darwin, whatever, but he's been hot recently. He's got excellent fixtures, and Nkunku's still out. I think he's going to do pretty well. So that is going to be the wildcard draft, guys, and I'll go ahead and lock it in here for us. And yeah, we're good to go. All right, guys, so moving from the Fantasy Premier League site to Fantasy Football Hub. I like this app for transfer planning. Gives you a pretty good visual of your team, how it's looking, etc. They have projected points. I don't really trust it very much, so I wouldn't put too much stock in the projections. I will shout out FPL Focal here, one of the guys I like watching on the YouTube videos, and he gives a good rundown of the top 5 to 10 projected point scores at each position. I think he gets his points from FPL Review. So moving to the team, you can see we've just imported the team. Gvardiol and Gabriel are going to ride the bench this week, and Garnacho's going to ride the bench every week. And we've got Petrovic starting over Kelleher. So moving forward, the transfer plans are pretty simple. As of right now, I've got Bradley and Kelleher. I don't think both will start past game week 31, maybe 32. Klopp said today that Trent, Allison, whoever the other guys that he didn't call out by name that were back already, he said they're getting close, but they would target a return after next week. So that pretty much removes 30 and 31, and they probably won't actually be back for 32. So looking at the transfer plans, at the team selection, Gvardiol's going to be on the bench with Lascelles. Everything looks pretty good here, to be honest with you. Pretty happy with this. And we will roll. I don't need to roll because I'll be free hitting in 34, but it gives me some flexibility here in 32 and 33 where I want to make some transfers. So the first transfer plan is 8 Nori. You can see 8 Nori coming in. I'm not set on this, but he's got good fixture 32, good fixture 33, and great fixture in 35, which are kind of perfect for filling the holes in my team. Obviously, Bradley made way because we don't need him for 34, and I don't think he's a reliable starter at this point. Could move on Kelleher, but I think I'll move him on in 33. Doesn't really matter. I mean, if he starts in 33, you could play him, but Petrovic has good fixtures. So in 33, the big transfer is Madison out to Foden. I like the City triple up. I don't think a lot of people will have a City triple up for 33 when they have Luton at home. So I think that's a huge opportunity. And I think Onana will probably also come in here. So I have him in place. You can't take the extra transfer into game week 35 out of my free hit. So it's likely to be Onana. All right, guys, thanks for joining me for my very first video. I really appreciate you sticking around. If you liked the video or found it helpful or interesting, go ahead and like and subscribe. Planning to make a video every week from now to the end of the season. Going for the top 10K by game week 34 when we use the free hits. So, all right, guys, till next time.